Participants will be in listen and view mode. You can ask your queries in the question and answer mode at the end of the discussion or throughout the webinar. The organizers and the experts will be able to answer you during the webinar. Please mute your audios so that all the participants can have and can listen to the webinar properly. Also, we will be running a poll in between the webinar from time to time to seek your feedback and to understand the concept. Kindly participate in the poll when we raise it. Before we raise a poll, we will be announcing that the poll is going to start. So please be with us, please be attentive and participate in the poll. This is going to help us in understanding and getting a correct feedback. For today's webinar, we have Mr. G. Srinivasulu, who is the Assistant Professor in the Department of Adult Independent Living, NIPID, Secunderabad, and he will be our main speaker for today. So now I would give over the presentation to Mr. Srinivasulu, and Srinivasulu will be taking over from now onwards. Srinivasulu sir, thank you for accepting our invitation. And we have our participants. Some of the participants are about to join. Now you are the presenter. We have given you the access to be the presenter. You can share the screen, you can talk, and we will be in a mute mode, and so that your voice will be clear to the participants. You can take over now, sir.
Yeah. Am I audible to you? The screen is okay, ma'am?
Yes, the screen is okay. We are able to see you on the screen. If you can share the PowerPoint, that will also be seen. Your voice is also quite clear.
Okay. Are you viewing the PowerPoint?
No, it is not yet begun. It is still opening.
Now?
No, the PowerPoint is not yet seen. We are able to. Yes, I'm seeing. Yes.
PowerPoint.
Now the PowerPoint. Yeah, the PowerPoint is now open.
Okay. Can I start now?
Put it. Yeah, you can put it on the full screen mode. The PowerPoint.
Yes, ma'am. Is it okay?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay.
Yes, you can start now.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shifa, ma'am. So my session is about. I'm Srinivasulu, faculty in NIPID. So the session is about current practices in vocationalization of PWIDs, especially for the skill development training. So I would like to start the brief introduction about this vocationalization. So what the scenario before 2015 and after 2015, because there are drastical changes incorporated before 5 years due to so many schemes, so many policies, so much amount of legislations incorporated from the government of India. So the before 2015 we have a PWD Act 1995. According to that act, we have only 7 disabilities. So during that time, maximum amount of special schools are conducting pre-vocational, vocational training through DDRS schemes. During that time, no other provisions are applicable to the adult intellectual disabilities, but maximum amount of special schools, vocational training centers are running through the Deen Dayal Rehabilitation Scheme for conducting any kind of vocational training. So that is what the exact situation up to 2015. But after 2015, the new act, RPD Act has come. So because of the new RPD Act, the disabilities got increased from 7 to 21 disabilities. So after that, DDRS scheme got some changes incorporated for the education program and vocational training. Because of the changes in provision of education, another act has come, that is a SIPDA, Scheme for Implementation of Persons with a Disability Act. So with this SIPDA Act, any organization can undergo vocational training through this act. So this is what the changes incorporated. So after 2015. So this is a major information every organization, every professional has to understand. So with this, we can understand what exactly we are now for undertaking or conducting any kind of vocational training program or skill development program. So here I would like to share a little bit important information about the vocational training and skill development. So maximum amount of organizations are still conducting some kind of regular vocational training programs. You know the difference? So vocational training, skill development, little bit changes. Whoever is conducting the training with the existing infrastructure, with the availability of facilities, that is a regular vocational training. With their institute funds, they can undertake. But whereas, suppose if they want to conduct any kind of specialized programs, specialized kind of provisions for any kind of trade specific kind of programs, or they want to get any kind of funds, they must have to register to the SIPDA scheme. Then only they can undertake skill development program, and they will get some kind of grant in aid from the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Otherwise, they cannot be the authorized partners or training partners or agencies from the Government of India to conduct any kind of skill development program, because the policies are very clear and the provisions also very clear. So I would like to share one by one with this presentation. So the main objectives of these two programs are common. We should know the understanding changing concept of vocational training, what exactly going on. So what are different types of training programs we can undertake. Then analyze the existing scenario of vocationalization for PWID. So is there any formal or informal kind of training? So how best we can accommodate this kind of provisions. So this is the second objective. Then third is brief discussion about the traditional and non-traditional kind of vocational training programs. So I will give a brief, a little bit elaboration regarding this third point. Then realize the need to have proper strategies and guidance for adult independent living program. So these are the major objectives of this vocational training and skill development. So I would like to give a little bit clear-cut picture regarding the regular vocational training and skill development. So in a regular vocational training program, we have a three-phase training program. First one is generic vocational training, the first phase. Second phase is specific skill training. Third is independent skill functioning. So here the three-phase vocational training program, we are undertaking the same kind of strategies, methods and procedures following each and every special school and vocational rehabilitation centers throughout the country. Whereas in skill development training program, only specific trade the trainee has to undertake for a short duration of training. You can't undertake multiple trades, and the trainee cannot enroll or entitle for long hours of duration. Long time means it may not be 1 year or more than 1 year. So the duration is 3 months to 1 year. So it depends upon the duration of the training. You can choose the trade specific training. So this is what the major difference between a regular vocational training and skill development training. The criteria. The second one is criteria for the activity selection in regular vocational training program and skill development training. So what exactly the criteria? So in the regular vocational training program, the criteria is a very simple criteria. Whatever be the trade, if you want to select, the activity should be very much a demand in the community and less skilled operation. Then the third is easy accessibility of the materials. Materials has to be simply we can undertake from the open market. Fourth is very much demand in the community. Then low amount of duration, maybe 20 minutes or half an hour that should not go beyond 1 hour, means 40 minutes or 1 hour, because intellectual disability cannot cope up with that much amount of time for concentration or whatever with a sequence of time. So that is the reason we have to see the possibility of duration while conducting this kind of program. Then the next one is safety. Safety we have to check while conducting this kind of training programs. We have to see the safety incorporations while providing any kind of tools or materials or any kind of equipments or machinery. So this is the simple criteria and major criteria we have to follow while implementing the regular vocational training program in vocational training. Whereas in the skill development training program, it is completely different. We have to follow the norms of NSDC and SCPWD. Here, this is the two terms everybody has to understand. The professional must know the knowledge regarding the SCPWD and NSDC. So SCPWD means the Skill Council for Persons with Disability. This is a public-private partnership working under Government of India through the collaboration of NSDC. Again, NSDC is a National Skill Development Corporation, which is working under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, NSDC is working. NSD has a 1900 job roles. So any common man can undertake any kind of job. So with this NSDC guidelines. So under NSDC, persons with intellectual disability, not only intellectual disability, any disability, suppose if they want to conduct a skill training program, they have to follow the procedures of SCPWD. So SCPWD is the public-private partnership. So it has a 23 job roles available. So for 21 disabilities. So before undertaking any kind of training program through this SIPDA norms, so they have to approach to the SIPDA, SCPWD, Skill Council and Persons with a Disability norms they have to follow. So this is what the criteria for undertaking vocationalization through regular training program, guidelines through SIPDA for skill development program. Then assessment regarding training. So here we are in the regular vocational training program, we are following the norms of VAPS assessment. So VAPS is a non-standardized kind of tool we are using. Vocational assessment and programming system, which includes 8 domains: self-care skills, language and communication, socialization maturity, motor skills, which includes both the fine and gross motor skills, then mobility and hand care functioning, then functional academics, then occupational skills, domestic skills and safety skills. Suppose if a person enter into the vocational training from the services to the section, first we will do the VAPS assessment. Based on that assessment of a vocational assessment and programming system, if a person achieves 80% of the criteria, then only we can refer for a specific skill training. Either it is a 6 months or 1 year or 1.5 years, maybe it will go to 2.5 years. So depends upon the level of the individual, we will refer the specific skill training for regular vocational training program through the assessment of VAPS. Whereas in skill development program, there is a different kind of assessment procedures. It depends upon the trade. It depends upon the trade, and the assessment criteria is a person has to qualify at least 8th class. Then they have to undergo minimum pre-vocational skills, pre-vocational training or specific job skill kind of exposure they have to attain. Then only we can undertake the client or individual for skill development program for a shorter duration. Short duration means there are a list of job roles, around 23 job roles now available in the SCPWD website. So for each and every job role, there is a different kind of criteria for the duration of training. Some trades are 3 months, seasonal means some season kind of trades. Some trades having 6 months duration, some trades having 1 year. So like that, they mentioned very clearly in that job roles. The procedure for regular vocational training. In our department, we are following different kind of administrative tools for assessing the students' abilities. For example, whenever a person qualifies through the VAPS criteria, first we will see their competencies. So where the student will fit, what type of competencies he or she has, whether paper-related competencies or cloth-related competencies or art and craft, drawing, printing and painting, carpenter-related kind of thing, domestic kind of thing, or assembling and dismantling kind of things. So whatever be the competencies, the list of competencies, we will choose where he will fit for the specific skill training. So this is the one kind of admission tool. The second one is work-related academics. Whether the student has a exposure of sufficient work-related academics or not, means pre-vocational training or any regular education or not, we will see. Otherwise, if a person coming from the rural background, we have to check at least minimum academics, we have to do the exposure. So that is the reason we will check their work-related academic skills also. Then the third is the specific job skills. It depends upon the trade. Actually, in our department, we have a 10 model workstations existing. So for a short amount of duration, means 1 month, we will check their abilities in the existing vocational setups. Example, bookbinding, printing kind of thing, assembling and dismantling kind of thing, office assistant kind of thing. So like that, we will check their abilities in a different workstations. After 3 months or 6 months, we will get some kind of idea. The so and so student will fit for so and so kind of program, because already we have a idea of competencies, then the exposure of specific job skill, then we can refer for a longitudinal kind of training, comprehensive kind of vocational training. This is what the third one. Then the next one is the work behavior. So this is the major important kind of component for the intellectual disability. So we will check their behavior component is with respect to different kind of behavioral components. So, for example, regularity, punctuality, sincerity, following instructions, obeying instructions of the higher authorities, means school teacher, concerned class vocational instructor, and their interpersonal relationships, then quality of work, quantity of work, then speed about the work, then concentration about the work, then safety aspects regarding the work platform. So all these things we will check from the client within a short amount of duration for a student's progress. Then the last one is the self-advocacy kind of skills. How much amount of advocacy skills a person has. So based on this advocacy kind of things, we will slowly, step by step, we will give the exposure regarding community utilization skills. For example, knowing about the bank, post office, supermarket, hotel, restaurant, garden, stationery outlet, medicines, hospital, cinema hall, railway station, supermarket, bus station, like that. Different kind of community utilization skills we will expose. We will give the exposure on this kind of things. So this is what we are giving exposure on different kind of regular vocational training program procedures. Whereas in a skill development training program, different criteria we have to follow. Here we cannot administer our own kind of methods or mechanisms for the skill development training. So we have to follow the norms of SCPWD norms. So they have a different kind of criteria. The criteria is NSQF level criteria. NSQF means National Skill Qualification Framework. So they have a different kind of NSQF levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, up to level 8. So if a person has only semi-skilled or unskilled kind of capacities, then they will fit in the level 1 kind of jobs, means assistant or helper kind of jobs they can undergo. Level 2 means little bit of semi-skilled kind of things. Little bit of monitoring is required, supervision is required. Based on that supervision and monitoring, the individual can perform some kind of task. Then those kind of candidates will fall under the category of NSQF level 2. So NSQF level 3 means little bit of skill is required. So some kind of skills which having some kind of measurements, then some kind of work related academic exposure. So these kind of concepts are required for the NSQF level 3. NSQF level 4 means a little bit of skill based kind of training and exposures are required for the NSQF level 4. So maximum amount of our trades falls under the criteria of level 3 and level 4. Our maximum amount of intellectual disabilities performing. If you see the traditional and non-traditional kind of jobs in all over the country, whoever is running different kind of vocational training programs in their respective special schools or vocational rehabilitation centers, so the trades are falling under the criteria of level 3 and level 4. So that is the reason we have to check their NSQF level category also. Based on these norms, we have to follow the procedures. Next, the evaluation procedures. So in the regular vocational training program, we have a different kind of term evaluation. As usual, regular practice in the special school or vocational, we have a 3 terms of evaluation: first term and second term and third term. So based on the term evaluation, we will check their goals. Either it is a immediate goal or short term goal or long term goal. We will change the goals. then we can refer for the further goals. Whereas in a skill development program, only one goal, that is the last one, summative evaluation we will do for the overall progress of the students. So based on that summative evaluation kind of progress, we will refer for the employment opportunities. So this is what the advantage and disadvantage in the evaluation kind of criteria. So maximum amount of intellectual disabilities require this kind of formative evaluations, because we have to check each and every time how much amount of progress is there, whether any drawbacks is there, any requirement of modification of tools or job aids is required. We have to check, because intellectual disability having a different kind of cognitive deficiencies. So that is the reason we have to do the formative kind of thing. So, but skill development is saying very clear, summative evaluation only we have to do. So that is the reason we had given some kind of modification of curriculums for undertaking this kind of training program through SIBDA. This is under process. So very soon we are expecting the result from the SCPWD regarding this evaluation one. Then the certification criteria. So in our regular vocational training program, we are not giving any kind of certificate. We are only following the department procedures through ISO. That is a transition portfolio only we are giving, because institute is a autonomous body. We cannot give the government of India certificates. So as an institution, education training institution, we are following the norms of certain kind of procedures. That is the reason we are giving the transition portfolio, which includes the progress report. The progress report right from the joining of the client, the baseline level to the achieved progress of the students. Whereas skill development is giving the authenticated kind of certificate which has the Government of India logo. The advantage is that after completion of the skill development training, trainee or individual can go for any kind of loan through the nationalized banks. So they can approach for small scale industries or any kind of NHFDC kind of short amount of loans, or large scale kind of heavy margin kind of rebate or subsidy based kind of loans. They can undertake through this certificate who is issued by the SCPWD. So this is the major drawback in the regular vocational and SCPWD. So that is the reason.
Srinivasulu sir,
Yes.
Srinivasulu sir,
Ma'am.
sorry for interrupting in between. Sir, it is poll time. We will run the first
Almost
poll
over.
now. No,
Within 1
just
minute.
no. We will, after the poll, you can continue once again, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
So we will first run the poll. Audience, we are running our first poll. Please, you'll be able to see the question popping on the screen. Please select one of the choices. I'm starting
Hello?
the first poll. I'm starting the first poll.
Hello,
The question
Namaskar,
is, the question
Sir,
is,
मैं
Rahul,
राहुल
can you please mute?
NIPID सिकंदराबाद से
How many phase
NIPID
training model
सर
is
एक्चुअली
followed
अपना
in a
हेल्पलाइन
regular vocational training?
डेवलप कर रहे हैं सर
How many phase
हमको
training
आपका
model
डिपार्टमेंट और उनका
is
फोन नंबर चाहिए सर
followed in regular vocational training? You have three
निपिड
options:
निपिड
third
सिकंदराबाद
phase model, fifth phase model, and two phase model. Three phase model, option A; five phase
Okay.
model, option 2; and two phase model, option 3. I request all the audience to participate in the poll. We are seeing that audience are polling now. I could see 57% have given three-phase model, 42% has given five-phase model. I'm seeing the percentages changing now. The others are also giving their answers. Okay, it says, I'm showing you the results. I hope you are all able to see the results. 70% of the audience have answered that it is the three-phase model, which is the correct answer. So the regular traditional vocational training model goes with a three-phase training model. We have the second question now going to start. I'm going to start the second poll also. Please see the question on your screen. Please see the question on your screen. According to SIBDA guidelines, what is the duration of skill training? The question is, according to SIBDA guidelines, what is the duration of skill training? The options are 1 to 6 months, 3 to 12 months, and 1 to 3 months. Dear audience, you have to select one of the options. Option A, 1 to 6 months. Option 2, 3 to 12 months. Option 3, 1 to 3 months. I see very few audience polling. The votes are very less. I request all the audience to please select one of the option. It's okay if you do not know the right answer. We want you to participate in the poll so that we can check how this particular feature is going to work. I see only 8 votes being done. I request all the other participants to please vote and select one of the option. According to SIPDA guidelines, what is the duration of the skill training which is given to persons with intellectual disability? Option A, 1 to 6 months. Option B, 3 to 12 months. Option C, 1 to 3 months. Okay, we have good result now. Let me tell you, 54% has given 1 to 6 months, 45% has given 3 to 12 months, and 1% and nobody has chosen the third option. Now I would give over the presentation to Srinivasulu sir. I would request Srinivasulu sir to once again talk something about the SIPDA guidelines and the duration as prescribed by the SIPDA guidelines, as the participants have some problem to go with this particular thing. Srinivasulu sir,
Yes, ma'am.
please start talking now.
Right. हाँ मैम.
PowerPoint should I have?
Okay. So this is about the criteria of the certification. Then the next one is placement criteria. See, in a regular vocational training program, we have a limited kind of options for the job placement. So institute is following its own norms for placing the students through different kind of employment models. That is the open employment model, sheltered employment model, supported employment model, and self-employment model. So these models we are following. For this, department is undertaking different kind of surveys. So there are 3 types of surveys: activity survey, product survey, and a job survey. So after conducting the 3 surveys, we are choosing performance achieved beneficiaries or trainees. So maximum amount of jobs we getting by the students in 3 or 4 workstations out of 10 workstations. So those workstations are printing workstation, office assistant kind of workstation, and some extent screen printing and book binding. So these are the major workstations the trainees getting opportunities in the open setup, because these workstations having a lot of semi-skilled kind of jobs and group employment kind of opportunities in the open community. Whereas other workstations such as tailoring workstation, photo frames workstation, paper bags making, and other kind of workstations have a less amount of scope in the community, because which requires a lot of skills and focuses at their home setup only. Because suppose if you see in the tailoring workstation, after completion of the training, so the employers, means the semi-skilled kind of setups available in the community, they don't want to take the trainees, disability category people in their setups, because which requires lot of skills. Just a minute. So that is the reason for a sewing machine operation, means tailoring trade and paper bags and other kind of trades. We are choosing self-employment kind of provisions to the individuals or trainees. So before suggesting this kind of placement opportunities, we are calling for the parents. First of all, we will give the guidance and counseling. They have to understand their individuals' capacities, then the need. Then slowly we will encourage towards for opting the self-employment kind of provisions. So this type of options maximum we are suggesting to women with intellectual disabilities and moderate and severe profound kind of category students for this self-employment kind of provisions. So for others, we are providing and guiding to the open employment through our department staff. Whereas in placement criteria for the skill development, it has different kind of provisions in the SIBDA norms. So maximum amount of SIBDA partners, means empanel training partners, has the different kind of industry partners available, readily available industry partners. Through the industry partners, the agencies are opting placement provisions to the clients. So this is only applicable to hearing impairment, visually impairment and orthopedically handicapped, but not suggestible to intellectual disability, because for choosing industry kind of standards, our intellectual disability cannot cope up the standards or mechanisms. Means many a times we are observing the difficulties through the industry, because the industry people using different kind of heavy duty machines, so there may be a chance of occurrence of danger. That is the reason industry people not choosing the ID category people. So that is the disadvantage. So that is the reason the next option, alternative option, we are hiring job mailers. So we are hiring different kind of stakeholders from the community, especially the semi-skilled kind of organizations, agencies, sectors, firms, agencies, then communicating through the local partners, MLCs and other politician people and other MNCs, multinational companies and CSR people, corporate social responsibility people. Then we are conducting job melas. Then we are giving opportunities for the ID people. So this is what the medium we are using for the job placement through SIBDA. So a little bit, not little bit, maximum kind of difference in these two kind of sectors, regular occasional and skill development. So this is the major challenging kind of factor we are facing. So the placement opportunities are 50-50%, equal opportunities for the regular occasional training and skill development. Only thing is that for PWIDs, very less amount of scope. Only thing is that by incorporating a little bit kind of opportunities, sourcing, communicating, then interpretation development, communication development with the agencies, medium, so we can undertake job melas and job placement opportunities for the PWIDs. So this is what the placement options. Now we are giving opportunities for the regular occasional training and skill development program. Both we are balancing from the institute and the department side. So because maximum amount of our trainees are falling under the category of moderate, severe and profound category. So these clients are difficult to enter into the skill development program because of the criteria, whatever we the just mentioned in the third and fourth slide here, eligibility criteria slide. So the moderate, severe and profound people are lacking the opportunity to enter into the skill development program. So that is the reason we are balancing with the regular occasional training program for the needy people. At the same time, for higher functioning kind of students, we are giving opportunity to the skill development. It is the latest updated information for all the people. You must understand what exactly going on in the vocationalization and skill development program. Shilpa madam. Hello.
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
So should I elaborate a little bit of skill training guidelines for the organizations? Is
we
it,
will,
shall I conclude?
No, actually we have some questions, sir. We will take the question and answers now.
Okay.
I can, sir, I'm going to ask the question which the participants have raised. I
Okay.
would also announce to the participants that you can type your questions in the question and answer box, and we will be able to take the questions. The first question is, sir, what are generic skills? Can you please elaborate a little bit on generic skills?
Generic skills includes all the self-care kind of skills, which are very much essential for any kind of vocational training, which includes the self-care, means bathing, toileting, dressing, grooming and eating. Suppose if a person ages 15 to 18 years, in the sense, at least they have to be independent in the self-care skills, and they must have to communicate, means receptive skills and expressive skills, at least word level, sentence level. So some kind of comprehension skills are very much essential. Then some kind of socialization maturity also required. for the wishing, smiling, sharing, greeting, respective kind of things. Some kind of fine motor abilities are essential: tripod grasp, pincer grasp, opponent grasp, then palm grasp, hook grasp, cylindrical kind of grasp. So these things are very much essential for holding any kind of tools, materials, equipments with their fine motor kind of things. Not only fine motor, grasp motor also. So students require sitting tolerance at least 30 minutes in a particular position, normal working area. So they have to do some kind of fine motor and grasp motor skills under motor coordination. And students require some kind of function related academics, for example reading and writing skills, calculation for purpose, for example read addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and number concept, money concept, size concept, shape concept, color concept, direction concept. So these things are very much essential under the academics exposure. Similarly, occupational skills, domestic skills and safety skills. So these are all generic skills, so very much essential for the basic kind of operations.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
We'll take the next question. Since you know that majority of our today's participants are student trainees, some of them are not very familiar with the VAPs. So in between your presentation, you have talked about some 80% criteria for VAPs. So there is a question, what is VAPs? So can you please elaborate on VAPs,
Yeah.
sir?
VAPS means Vocational Assessment and Programming System, which includes 8 domains. Just now I shared the gender skills. So all the gender skills mentioned in this VAPS. The first one is self-help skills. Second is language and communication. Third domain is social skills. Fourth is motor skills, means mobility and hand care functioning. Fifth is functional academics. Sixth is domestic skills. Seventh is occupational. Eighth is safety skills. So based on these 80 domains, around 80 components. So based on that majority of performance, 80% of components in the total domains, then only we will refer for the next further training, specific skill training.
Okay, thank you, sir. Dear audience, you can refer to VAPs in our NIPID website. The full e-version of the VAPs is available for download. Please visit our NIPID website and download the VAPs. You can get more information on that. Sir, we will take the next question now. What is the full form of NSQF? This is a question on NSQF, sir. Please elaborate what is NSQF for the participants.
NSQF means National Skill Qualification Framework. Earlier, we don't have any kind of qualification framework before 2012 or 2010. So the before era, that is the reason I mentioned 2015 era, before 2015 era and after 2015 era. So anybody can conduct any kind of vocational training program during that time. So now Government of India made some kind of mandatory provisions to undertake any kind of vocationalization or polytechnic kind of course or any kind of training programs. So all these are kept it in one umbrella under the norms of NSDC by some kind of putting some cap, that is NSQF cap. Different levels mentioned in that NSQF levels, NSQF level 1, level 2, level 3, up to 8 levels they mentioned very clearly. So level 1 means that may not require any kind of skills, means unskilled kind of. Level 2 means semi-skilled. Level 3 means little bit of monitoring supervision required. Level 4 means some kind of skills are required. So level 5 means some kind of technical skills. Level 7 means heavy duty kind of operations. Level 8 means rocket science kind of things. So in that cadre, they categorized the job roles. So all these job roles available in the NSDC website. If you want to see, around 1900 job roles they categorized in a different kind of domains. NSQF means
Okay.
National Skill Qualification Framework.
Okay, thank you, sir. I hope the participants understood. Please, we will, if you want, we will share the full guidelines on NSQF through email. Sir, we'll take the next question.
Yes.
There is a question on, sir, scheme for implementation of Persons with Disability Act. Is it just for vocational, occupational skills, or it is also for other levels such as primary, secondary level educational training? So basically the audience are asking whether the SIBDA scheme is only for vocational training and skill development,
No,
or
SIBDA,
it is also used for any kind of an educational training.
not in the educational kind of things. It has a different kind of provisions, accessibility kind of thing, some kind of awareness programs we can conduct for employment generation. or some we can conduct some kind of melas, job melas. Divya Kala Shakti is one example. So certain kind of awareness campaigns we can conduct, accessibility kind of things. We can also develop some kind of assistive devices and job aids, adaptive devices, technology kind of things we can undertake to this act. Not for
Okay,
the
sir.
full-fledged kind of
Okay.
education things.
So
So it
you
requires
mean
for
to
the
say
above.
that it is for mostly for skill development and vocational training,
Yes,
not for
yes,
educational purpose.
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We have one more question. The
Yes.
question is, what are measures you are taking during transition period? What are the measures that you are taking during the transition period of children from school to work?
Uh, for the transition of the students, first we will see their capacities in the sense work competency level. So we are using different kind of assessment materials for their education kind of things, and for development of work competencies, and for the development of their other skills. For example, some kind of co-curricular recreational kind of skills, whether the student is very much interested for kind of dance and music or vocational kind of things. So we will assess their capacities. Based on that, we will choose. Initially we will start with some kind of art and craft activities. So we will give little bit of materials for drawing and painting kind of thing, craft related activity. Slowly we will encourage the students towards the occupational kind of skills. Slowly we will develop their fine motor kind of things. Then after we will give some kind of work related exposure kind of things. So we have a different kind of modules for developing their work competencies and vocationalization. So whenever a person referring from the school special education program to vocationalization, we will check their capacities with respect to the academics, education, and their interest. Sometimes we have to check their parents' interest also. Parents will come and ask, my child, my son doesn't want this kind of bookbinding kind of things. I want to start my own kind of training for computer. So there we have to see their parents' interest also. So we will check their capacities with respect to their skills, abilities, knowledge, interest, and other aspects of interest through the interest inventories. So those things we are following and we are implementing for the transition of students for shifting their abilities from school level program to vocationalization.
Thank you so much, Srinivasu sir. Sir, we will. This will be our last question from the question and answer, and later we will ask the attendees to ask the question directly to you. Now participants, if you want to ask any question and speak to the speaker directly, please raise your hand, and we will allow you to speak. But this is the last question from the question and answer chat box. So the question is, are you placing persons with ID in the labor law? Do they come under the labor law? Persons with ID, do they come under the labor law? This is one of the questions, sir. Can you please throw some light upon this?
As of now, we need to follow this kind of thing because now we are processing. So in this area, we didn't focus it that much. We are trying with the SCPWD because they have the norms and rules and regulations to follow the labor law, because they have the guidelines for different kind of laws. First, we have to proceed the apprenticeship kind of guidelines before going to this labor law. So those things we are undertaking. Probably this academic years, it can be we are trying for implementing this kind of labor law guidelines and procedures through the apprenticeship.
So you mean to say, sir, that persons with intellectual disability, as of now, do not fall under the labor law, and they cannot take the
Hello. Ma'am,
advantage.
continue.
Yeah, they cannot take the advantage of the provisions given in the labor law.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Now we will ask the participants to please raise your hand, and and we will give you permission to speak to talk directly and ask the question directly to our today's presenter. So, participants, if you have any question, please raise your hand.
Yes.
We will give you the control. We will allow you to talk with the presenter directly. Participants, any question, you can ask anything. Your presenter is here to clarify your doubts.
Yes.
Yes, participants, are there any questions which you would like to ask the presenter? Please feel free. Do not be hesitant. All the participants are here today to check the feasibility of different kinds of features of this app. So please feel free to ask the question. We are testing the features. Can I ask? Yes, we see a participant, that is Shruti. Shruti from B.Ed wants to ask a question, Srinivasulu sir. Now I will
Yes,
give
ma'am.
the
Yes.
microphone. I'm owning. She will be able to ask you. Yes, Shruti, you can ask the question.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Voice not clear, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Shruti, you can ask. Ma'am.
No voice, ma'am.
Yeah, Shruti,
Ma'am,
please ask.
Ma'am, are you able to listen me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we are
yes,
able
you
to
can ask.
listen. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, I have a doubt. Like, if a parent comes and asks, she or he wants to only keep her child in vocational training,
Ma'am.
but the child is only capable of doing skill development. I mean, vice versa. So, how to convince a parent, sir, between
Once
skill
again.
development and vocational training, sir?
Okay.
How to convince a parent about his or her child, about in which skill he is or she is capable, and in which skill she can be fit in.
See, we have a work competency checklist.
Okay.
So we have a work competency checklist. Based on that competencies, we can observe whether the student can fit in the computer kind of training, whether the student can fit in the tailoring kind of training, or any other kind of training is applicable to the training. Based on that competencies checklist and the task applicable to the individual, then we will refer for the students. And simultaneously, we are checking their capacities with respect to the norms of WAPS. So 80% achieved means indirectly we can go for the skill development. If the client is below 80%, then we can conduct the regular vocational training program till they can attain the skills.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it is answered. It is
Next question.
answered. Yeah. Somebody, please, anybody else who wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. We will give you the, we will allow you to ask the question. Please raise your hand. Are there any questions? I request all of you have been asked to give us a proper feedback. Until you ask a question, we will not be able to test the feature properly. So I request the students and the staff who are present in the webinar to please raise the hand and ask a question.
Hello.
Yes, sir. They are asking. We have one more question. We have Dr.
Yes.
Padmavati who wants to talk to you. I'm giving her the control, sir. Let us listen to what Dr. Padmavati wants to ask. Yes, Dr. Padmavati, can you hear us? We are giving you the microphone option. You can talk
Hello.
now. Dr. Padmavati, you can talk now.
Okay. Good afternoon, Srinivas.
Hello, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Actually, the how employers are
Hello, Shilpa ma'am, voice break हो रहा है.
नहीं, Dr. Padmavati is speaking, Srinivaslu.
Hello.
Please write. Dr. Padmavati is speaking. Please listen. Please listen. Your background has a lot of voice, Srinivasulu.
Avuna?
Yes. Your room, probably your door is open. There is a lot of background voice coming. That's the reason you're not able to listen. But Dr. Padmavati, you can talk now.
Okay.
Yeah, it is audible. It is clear.
Okay, Srinivas. Okay, simple question.
Yes. Ah.
How we are going to approach the employers
Okay.
to place our children? Okay.
Yes. Right question, ma'am. Actually, we have some employers every month. We have a different kind of job survey visits. That is generally we used to conduct the job survey in the last day of the week, Fridays. So afternoon hours, our staff will go and meet to the employers. So which are suitable to our trades. Means a printing kind of training we are giving. Printing sectors we will go and we will distribute some kind of flyers and pamphlets regarding the placement of PWIDs. We developed one pamphlet about the intellectual disabilities capacities and already placed sectors. Then we will give some kind of orientation regarding the capacity of our students. Then we can contact, then we will take the permission. Initially we will start with some kind of 1 day or 2 day observations. Based on that satisfaction of the employer, then we will permit the parents, because we have to satisfy the parents also, that whether the client individually is interested to that kind of sector or job environment or not. So first the employer has to satisfy, then parents has to understand. Based on that, we will place a shorter duration kind of placement. After that, they can undergo for the longitudinal kind of placement. So first we will do the job surveys.
Okay. Thank you. One more question.
Huh.
Okay. So actually, so in our DAIL we are giving a limited trades. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a scope of placing our children in different areas, not whatever we have trained?
Different areas in the sense.
The other trades.
Actually, ma'am, ours is a model training center. It's a platform. See, if you see, I would like to give a clear-cut picture regarding what exactly our model of our workstation and vocational training in the DIAL department. We are giving bookbinding training. So bookbinding has a different kind of subtasks and skills. For example, folding papers, shuffling papers, creasing papers, cutting papers, pasting, all this, etc., etc. So after developing these capacities, we can place the students in envelope making kind of setups, some kind of paper bags kind of setup, some kind of greeting card setup, some kind of box file kind of setups, because the same kind of subtasks, same kind of skills, same kind of prerequisites, same kind of essential kind of skills applicable to other trades are. So we are developing the competencies and skills only. After achieving the skills, the similar kind of trades we are choosing in the open community. So if we train a person in the bookbinding, we can place 10 different kind of sectors in the open community which having a similar kind of skills in the bookbinding. Similarly, we are training tailoring section. Tailoring has a hemming, needle threading, cloth stitching, different kind of cloth related and thread related kind of skills. So we are placing the students in fall stitching kind of things, or self-employment kind of things, picot, some kind of pillow cover making, soft toys making. So skills are same, materials are same, prerequisites are same, subtasks are same. So related sectors we are mapping. So that is what the actual system of our department and model platform.
Why I am asking Mr. Srinivas? Actually, nowadays there are so many shopping malls, D-Mart, that mart, so many has come up, no? Because
Yes.
that is very, very easy skill. Just folding the clothes, put them in order, okay? As per color wise, as per stacking and all, no? That is easy for our kids. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Can
We
you
tried
give
with
like,
that kind of sectors, ma'am. Yes, I am concluding to your question, ma'am. We tried all this kind of sectors, even D-Mart, Spencer, all this kind of supermarket kind of thing, petrol bunks and other sectors. Only the difficulty is they have their own kind of limitations and conditions. A person has to be below 20 years. They must have to follow some kind of norms, some kind of rules and regulations, shifting system, nearby locality. So because of that kind of conditions, we are unable to place maximum people. We tried some students
Okay.
in pizza centers and supermarkets.
Okay. Actually, the thing is that, oh, this thing our children can do. Suppose if I go to any mall and all, oh, this thing our children can do it. No, that I think like that. That's why I'm asking.
But they have so many
We'll
kind of
see.
criteria and
We'll see.
conditions.
Okay, we'll see.
So here we are using the actual partner mediator, the HR person we have to approach. So with them only it will be working. So we tried some areas. We are in the process, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Padmavati.
Thank you, Srinivas.
Yeah, ma'am.
We will
Thank
take
you, ma'am.
others' questions now. Srinivas sir, we have a question, and the question is, what scheme do we usually prefer for DAIL students most? Actually, the question is a little not clear. May I ask the attendee to ask it directly? What do you
Yeah,
exactly
please.
want to ask?
Please,
What
please.
type of a scheme? Okay, I am giving the audio controls to the person who wants to ask it. Yes, we have just a minute. I'm giving the control. No, the presenter does not want to ask, so we will leave it. Probably we will try to ponder a little bit about this question, sir. They are asking what are the schemes which are mostly preferred for students in vocational training. Are there any specific schemes, sir, which we can tell to the parents that this scheme is available and they can take advantage of the scheme, they can apply and get benefits from the scheme, especially for children, for persons who are adults and who are undergoing some kind of vocational training?
Yeah. Actually, ma'am, we have a different kind of provisions for adult intellectual disability, those who already entered into the vocational training. So we have a national trust provisions for the small scale kind of a loan provision or any kind of longitudinal kind of home-based kind of scheme. Then we have a scheme called NHFDC for National Handicapped Finance Development Corporation. From small amount around 1 lakh to 50 lakhs we can get from this NHFDC. This is another provision. Another provisions also available from the NABARD, but that is applicable to the women with intellectual normal people. So these are the most applicable provisions for the PWIDs and the parents of PWIDs. So these schemes having the provisions of subsidy and some kind of repayment benefits, and we can also undertake maximum amount of duration for the repayment. So these are the provisions available from small scale kind of loans to higher amount of loans for establishing, especially for the 1 lakh amount to 50 lakhs. Even a
Okay,
national
thank
trust have
you.
the provisions.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Srinivas sir. We will be, there is one more question. I think this is the last question which we will be taking because we are running short of the time. Participants, the question is, Srinivas sir, the question is, are
ma'am.
there any online training programs for adults with intellectual disability specific to vocational training? Are there any online vocational training programs for adults with intellectual disability? I think this is a very good question, sir. Even I am also very curious to know if there are any online training programs. Like in
Yeah.
this particular period, we all are doing one or the other online training, spoken English or some or the other kind of a training. So do
Yes.
the people with the intellectual disability have any online vocational training program?
Yes, there are different kind of platforms available in the social sites. One is a Udemy, UDEMY. UDEMY. U for umbrella, D for Delhi, E for elephant, M for Manipur, Y for yellow. Udemy.org is one kind of online portal which is giving training, online training. So first they have to register. They have a different kind of provisions, even from $20 to, because it is an international platform. Few more courses are available through the NSDC. nsdcindia.org. NSDC National Skill Development Corporation also providing some kind of online provisions, nsdcindia.org, and some free online provisions also applicable through SCPWD, Skill Council for Persons with Disability, scpwd.in. So these are the main online portals available for undertaking. They can enroll through the site and they can undergo any kind of training. But only the
Thank you.
disadvantage is accent different. If you register through Udemy, better you have to choose the Indian web links to undergo this kind of training.
Thank you, Srinivas sir.
Also,
There are
developing this kind of online modules. Now we are in the process. Very soon we are going to conduct this kind of programs. We are developing this kind of applications.
Okay, thank you, Srinivas sir. There are other participants who want to ask you directly, but before I allow the other participants to ask the question directly to you, I would like to start another poll. Participants, please, we are starting another poll. We need your feedback. Dr. Srinivasulu sir is available with us. He will answer your questions after this poll. So please listen to the poll. We are starting the poll. This is basically for the feedback. How do you rate the audio quality in the webinar? Dear participants, please, we need your feedback. Please vote. You are given 5 stars, 1 being very bad, 5 being very good. How do you rate the audio quality in the webinar? Yes, I can see people very actively giving the ratings. 11 ratings have come. Dear participants, we are almost 17 to 18 participants who are present. I request all the other participants also to please rate. How do you rate the audio quality in the webinar? Okay, I see 14 ratings coming up. I am showing you the results. There are 9 people giving a 4-star rating, 1 person giving 5 star, and 4 people giving a 3-star. So the overall rating is 3.6 for the audio. Thank you for participating in the poll. I am rolling out the next poll. The next poll is, how do you rate the video quality in the webinar? When we mean by video quality, how you are able to see the PowerPoint, how you are able to see your presenter and the co-organizers, whether the video was staggering or not. Please rate the video quality in the webinar. Again, you have 5 choices, 5 star, 1 being very bad, 5 being very good. 1 is very bad, 5 is very good. Please give a rating for the video quality. Oh yes, we have quite a number of ratings. I'm showing the results. We have an overall rating of 4.1 for the video quality. Thank you, participants. Thank you so much. And we are going to we are now going to be back to the question and answer session. We are coming to the question and answer sessions now. There is one question, Srinivasulu sir.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Srinivasulu sir, if you can just close the rating window in your screen, on your screen, then the participants can view your face clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have one of our participants who wants to ask you a question directly. So I am now going to allow her to talk, giving her the audio controls so that she can talk and ask you the question.
Yes, you can ask, ma'am.
Yes, just a minute. She's getting the control. No, she is not getting the control. Let me see if they are asking the question. Yes, there is a question, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, they are talking. Please listen, sir.
All right.
Yes, you can talk now, madam. Shanti, you can ask the question. Yes, you can ask the question.
Hello,
You
good
are
afternoon, sir.
audible.
Can you hear?
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello,
हाँ मैम प्लीज.
sir.
हाँ.
Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we are able to hear you, Shanti. You
Once
can talk.
IDP children or IDP children
Voice is breaking.
is in the
I'm not audible to you. I'm not audible to
job,
you.
do we get any feedback from the employers? And
Once again, ma'am,
do you
feedback from
maintain any record?
Dial maintaining any feedback? Your question. Hello. Is it the same question you are asking, ma'am? Shilpa madam?
Yes. Srinivaslu sir, the question
Huh.
is after we place
employer-
them.
About the performance.
Shanti's voice is not clear. I am unable to hear from her.
Okay,
you
sir.
are-
I will ask the
The
question.
employer,
I am.
once they are placed in the job.
Huh. Once placed in the job.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, you can continue. Please ask me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The question is, Srinivasulu,
Yes,
once
ma'am.
they are placed in the job,
Huh.
do they give feedback to you how they are performing in the job?
Yes. Actually, after placement, we used to go for the follow-ups. After 15 days or 1 month, we will ask to the employer. At the same time, colleagues also we will get the feedback. So we are seeking the feedback from the colleagues. So simultaneously, we are getting the feedback from employer and the colleagues. Based on that feedback, we are inviting again the participants during the half work, means whenever they have some kind of leisure time. So during that time, we will call the parent, then we will give some kind of guidance and counseling, some kind of motivational kind of techniques to the parents for encouraging towards the appropriate and positive kind of work habits. Generally, this type of problems we are listening for their regularity and punctuality. So maximum amount of feedbacks we are hearing from the employers, only these two components only, the time maintenance and the regularity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Srinivaslu sir.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
will be taking our last question. This is the last question. After this, we will not have any other question from the participants because we are running out of time. The last question of today's webinar is, the SEPW certificate, how and where is it useful? Will it be helpful for easy availability of employment of the trainees once they complete the skill training? They are asking about the SEPW certificate,
Yes.
Srinivaslu sir.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. हाँ, ma'am. Actually, the training partners, so once the training is completed, the training partners or training centers will only give the certificate through the SEPWD. Once the training is completed, the list of candidates, their training, the trade details, with attendance, everything they will send it to the SEPWD. Then they will do some kind of evaluations and assessment kind of things. After that, the agency will submit the certificates to the center, training center or employment training partner. So this is the Government of India authorized certificate. With this certificate, anybody can opt the some kind of financial benefits or loans or any kind of jobs from the agencies. So this certificate is a valid kind of certificate because Skill Council is distributing. So that is the reason anybody can give loans with this authorized kind of certificates.
Thank you, Srinivaslu sir. There are many other questions also, but we are running out of time, so I am not taking those questions. Participants can mail those questions, and we will
Yes.
get back to you through your emails for the question. Now we are running our two last polls. Participants, these are the two last polls. Please rate. I am starting the poll because we need your feedback. Please give the overall rating for the today's webinar. Kindly give the overall rating for today's webinar. 1 being very bad, 10 being very good. This is a 10-point rating scale. 1 being very bad, 10 being very good. Please participants, I am seeing very less number of votes coming. Are you able to see the question on your screens? The overall rating for the webinar. The overall rating for the today's webinar in terms of the content, in terms of how the moderators, the organizers have handled the questions, the question and answer discussion. Please consider all the aspects when you are giving the overall rating. I'm seeing 11 ratings coming. Please give your rating, other attendees, other participants. Please give the rating. If you have any problem in seeing the question, please let us know through the question and answer chat box, question and answer box. We will try to fix it. We got only 12 ratings. However, I see around 17 participants currently attending the webinar. So I request the participants to please give the rating.
Now only 12 are available in the attendance list.
Only 12 are available. Okay, fine.
13 only.
13
No,
are
30.
available. Okay,
Ah.
fine. Okay, thank you. I think some of them have left. Fine.
Yes, yes.
So
Yes.
this is the result. We got 8.7 rating. That is quite a good rating. Thank you for your rating. Now the last poll, we are going to roll out the last poll. All of the participants, how do you rate the Zoho webinar app in comparison to other webinar apps like WebEx, GoToWebinar, TeamLink, Zoom? I believe all of you have some kind of an exposure to the other online platforms for webinars, that is GoToWebinar, TeamLink, or WebEx webinar, Zoom webinar apps. In comparison to that, how would you rate the Zoho webinar app which we are currently using? Please give your ratings. I'm seeing the ratings coming slowly. I have 7 ratings, now 9 ratings. Participants, if you are still online and still listening, please give your rating. This is really going to help us in deciding whether we have to look out whether our trial version is successful or not. Can we buy a licensed package or not? So kindly give your rating. I have 11 ratings. Okay.
Attendees are 14.
Attendees are 14, but only 11 ratings came. Since we are running short of time, I'm showing you the result. 7.7 rating has come for the thing. Okay, that's quite good, not bad. Thank you, participants, for following the poll and giving us your feedback. Some of them are saying that they could not see the last question, so they could not answer in the poll. But Srinivasulu sir and Rahul, they are giving in the question and answer thing that the compared to other apps, it is good. One of the participants said, except for the audio, overall design is very good in Zoho app. When compared to other apps, Zoho is quite good. I could not see the question. So, okay, we will try to fix. Let me tell to the participants that we are using a trial version. It is not completely embedded with all the features. In trial version, generally some features are disabled. When we buy a licensed pack, we will get more features. So we will now, since there are many other questions also, Srinivasu sir, but we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
very
Yeah, they can ask through
we do
mail.
not-
Definitely, I
yeah,
can answer.
we will reach them through email,
Yes.
and we will try to get back to their the unanswered questions. We'll try to get back to them, and now we will be ending our webinar over here. Thank you, Srinivasulu sir, for taking out time, and within a very short notice, you got ready in coming up with this particular title, and you took the class, and I'm very happy for helping us out in trying it out. And I also thank all the participants for being very patient and trying to help us out in checking out the features. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please send in your feedbacks and suggestions to the email which is being broadcasted on your screen. You can send in your feedback or suggestions to shilpamanagnya@gmail.com, or else, since many of you know my number, you can WhatsApp me your feedback and suggestions regarding today's webinar. Let me tell you once again that your feedback is very valuable for us. It will help us to improve and organize our webinars in a much professional manner. Thank you one and all. Have a good day, and we are ending the seminar now.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm closing
Thank
this
you.
screen.